Hello, this is Amber Willenberg from the U of L Libraries, and in this video, we're going to talk about developing a search strategy and using that search strategy to find sources for your research on an aspect of Japanese popular culture. This research requires you to find credible sources, including scholarly journal articles, to strengthen your topic focus. So what does it mean for a source to be credible? It means that the source is reliable, accurate, and you can trust the information it provides. We'll talk more about assessing credibility later in this video. For this assignment, you should focus on credible sources such as scholarly journal articles, news, books, or documentaries that were created by people with authority on the topic at hand. While YouTube, TikTok, or Wikipedia might have helpful information on your topic, these types of sources are not appropriate to cite for this assignment since you might have trouble assessing the authority of the creator and therefore the trustworthiness of the source. Reputable journals, news, books, and documentaries will have creators with credentials that you can easily investigate. Where do we go to find credible sources? The library is a great place to start when doing research for a class. It's especially useful for finding scholarly journal articles and books because these sources are expensive and your tuition dollars help pay for the library to provide access to them. You might be used to searching on Google, which is a search engine that scans the entire internet for anything that matches your search, even information that isn't credible. Unlike Google, the library pays for a collection of resources that are good for research for U of L students and faculty, so you won't have to deal with a lot of bad information clogging up your results. Since the library is more specialized than Google, it's helpful to develop a search strategy before we begin searching. Let's say that we've decided to research the effect of manga on American culture. If we were using Google to do our research, we could simply search for "how does manga affect American culture" to get lots of results. When searching in the library, though, we'll search using keywords, the most important words from our research question. In this case, manga and American culture are the most important words from our question. We don't just want to stop there, though. It can be helpful to think about ways of broadening and narrowing this question with our keywords. Manga could also be called Japanese comics or Japanese graphic novels. American culture is very broad, so we could use our keywords to think about narrower aspects of our topic. American art, American comics, or American adolescence, for example. Brainstorm as many keywords as you can. Having more keywords gives you more options for your search, so you don't get overwhelmed or stuck when you start searching. Now that we have a list of keywords to help us search in the library, we need to think about subject areas. The library's resources are organized around academic subject areas, so you need to think about what subject areas might be relevant to your research topic. What kinds of researchers are writing about manga's influence on American culture? We might think of Asian studies and communication and add these to our list. Once you've developed your search strategy, you can begin using that strategy to find sources through the library. Let's get started on the library homepage, library.louisville.edu. If you're off campus, you can still use the library's resources. You'll just be prompted to log in with your ULink ID and password when accessing the resources. The best place to get started finding scholarly sources and other credible articles is our subject guides on the left side of the page under Quick Tools. These subject guides divide up library databases by subject area, making it easier for you to find the most relevant resources for your research topic. Remember, one of the subject areas I identified for my research topic was communication, so we can click on the Communication Studies subject guide and find a handful of the very best databases where we can search for sources in the field of communication. A database is simply a searchable collection of thousands of sources, many of them scholarly articles, but other credible sources as well. A good starting point for any research is this Any Topic Guide. We'll click on the first recommended database listed here, EBSCO Academic Search Complete. EBSCO Academic is a multidisciplinary database that covers a wide variety of subject areas. Most of you will be able to find sources for your research in this database, but feel free to search in subject-specific databases as well. In EBSCO Academic, one of the first things you'll notice is that there are multiple search boxes at the top of the page. This is why we developed our search strategy with a list of keywords. We'll enter one keyword per box. So let's try some searches. First, we'll put manga in the first box and American culture in the second. This search gave us 13 results. We can go ahead and look through these results, or we can try out some of our other keywords. Let's change culture to comics. We now have 23 results. Keep in mind that you'll probably try out different searches with different combinations of your keywords to get the most relevant results. On the left side of the screen, you can see that our results include academic journal articles, as well as magazine and newspaper articles. These magazine and newspaper articles are still credible sources of information, even though they aren't scholarly journal articles. At this point, you can begin looking through the articles to find sources that seem relevant to your research question. I'm going to go ahead and click on this first article, Marketing Japan, Manga as Japan's New Ambassador. I know this is a scholarly article because it's labeled as academic. In library databases, news will be labeled as news and other source types will be labeled appropriately, so it's really easy to tell what you're looking at. One thing to notice when you click on an article is the abstract. Always read the abstract because it will give you a quick overview of the whole article, helping you determine if it's useful for your research before you read the whole thing. Another helpful tool here is the Cite button. Click this to get the citation for the article. If you decide you want to save this article to read later, there are a couple of options you can choose from. First, you can see if there is a PDF of the article available on the left side of the screen. If so, feel free to save that directly to your computer. Another option is to use the email tool on the right side of the screen to send yourself the article. Let's now click on this article, a news source. Notice that there is no PDF. Instead, you can click on Find It at U of L to see if we own the article or if you need to request a copy of it. When you click Find It, you'll either see a View Full Text link, which will take you to the article, or a button that says Request Item through Interlibrary Loan. So if you see that request button, it just means we don't own the article, but we will request a copy for you from another school. Click that button and fill out the form to place a request, and we'll send you the PDF of the article usually within a few days. Library databases are the place to go when you want to find scholarly journal articles and other credible articles. If you want to find books, you'll use the search box at the top of the library homepage. Simply click the Books tab and enter your keywords. This search gave us 36 results for books held here at U of L on your topic. If you don't get a lot of relevant results, you can always broaden your search to libraries worldwide on the left side of the screen. I'm going to click on this book, Manga in America. You'll find a summary of the book, the chapter titles under contents, and access options on the right, so you can find out if the book is in the library. All you need to do is go get the book off the shelf and check it out using your Cardinal card. Outside of the library, you can find helpful information for your research on Google and Google Scholar, but you have to be careful to assess the credibility of information you find through these search engines. Remember, they search the entire internet for results that match your search, so you might have some bad information from unreliable sources slip through the cracks. A quick trick for assessing the credibility of sources you find on Google and Google Scholar is to simply open up a new tab and see what you can find out about a source outside of that source. For example, I found this article on manga and American culture on NPR. If I was unsure what type of source NPR is and if it is reliable, I could open up a new tab, Google NPR, and check out their Wikipedia page. Wikipedia is a great place to find out about the reputation of a source. In this case, I can find out that NPR is a reputable news media organization. You can also talk to your instructor or a librarian if you're unsure about the credibility of a particular source. This has been a brief overview of using the library to conduct research. If you ever have any questions while conducting research, librarians are here to help. On the library homepage, click Ask a Librarian to chat with us Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 and find more ways to get in contact with us. You can even schedule an in-person or virtual research appointment with a librarian for in-depth research help. Thanks!